go. I know I haven't hit the series in a minute, but you already know it's time to bring it back. So, this is going to be What If Ash Was Born in Kalos, Part 4. So, we see Ash and Silva training on their way to go to the 5th dream. And they will pretty much start a battle between Sceptile and Greninja. You know, they'll be getting ready to go to Clement's gym. And, yeah, they'll be training. And Silva would say, Sceptile, use Night Slash. But instead, it will put both of his hands in front of it and then smack dab into Greninja. Him using the aerial ace back. Ash would say, that's not Night Slash. And then Silva would say, I know. He would put his Pokedex into the move and it would say, you have now learned the move Brick Break. Ash would say, oh, you learned Brick Break? Okay. Go move. Ash would then say, okay, let's go. They would be going and then Team Flare would attack them again. Ash would say, you ready, Pyroar? And then Pyroar would say, roar, roar. Just saying he's ready. Ash would throw out Pyroar, the adult, you know, the male form. And then Ash said, use Hyper Beam. And it would knock out so many of their Pokemon. And Silva would say, Diggersby, use Bulldoze. And it would bulldoze a whole bunch of their Pokemon. And then they say, you want more? Ash said, Pyro, use Overheat. Silva say, use Mudshot. And they would take out a couple more Pokemon, defeating Team Flare, and they would be on their way. Serena and Leaf would be looking like, that's strong, pretty strong. Then they would see a flock of Vivian. And Serena and May would say, I want one. And both of them would catch a Vivian. Well, Vivillon. I said Vivian. It's Vivillon. My fault. They would then have a 2-on-2 battle. Serena would use Braixen and Sylveon, while Leaf would use Florges and Helioptile. They would have a first battle with Serena using Fire Spin and Psybeam, Leaf using Moonblast and Petal Blizzard. Then Serena using Fairy Wind and Disarming Voice, while Leaf would use Mud Slap and Thundershock. It would end up being a tie though, and they would say, let's battle again. Serena would throw out Pancham and Vivian, while Leaf would throw out Dedenne and Vivian. Dedenne and Pancham would be going back to back between the long range and short range battle. Pancham, of course, favoring the short range, still having long range moves. Dedenne would use Thundershock, and Pancham would counter it with a Dark Pulse. Then Serena would tell Vivian to use Stun Powder, but the other Vivian will use Sleep Powder, knocking both Vivian out for a moment. The Dene would then try to use a Charm, but Pancham would dodge it and then go with an Arm Thrust, knocking the Dene out. He would then go for an Arm Thrust on the other Vivian, but It would hit Pancho with a powder, with a poison powder and infestation. And I can patch him out. The two Vivians would be trading blows, but Serena Vivian would know a crucial move, Draining Kiss, getting his health back, so Serena would win this battle. Yeah. So now they would be on their way to Clement's gym. Once they got there, Silver said, "I'll go first." He would send out Diggersby. Clement would say, going for the type advantage. Clement would then say, "Okay, I'm gonna send out my first Pokemon, Emolga." He gonna say, "Emolga, use Aerial Ace." And then Silver would say, "Now use Bulldoze," knocking Emolga out. He would then send out Magneton. He would say, "Magneton, use Thunderbolt," which wouldn't affect Diggersby. He would then say, "Use Electric Terrain." Then he would say, "Use Mirror Shot," which would barely do any damage. He would then Silver would say, "Use Mud Shot," then use Hammer Arm, knocking out Magneton. When he literally came in, his Thunderbolt would still not work. His Quick Attack would do a little bit of damage, but it would easily be countered by a double kick. Then he would say, "Use Grass Knot." Silver would say, "What? You know Grass Knot?" And this will almost take out these people. One more Bulldoze, he will weaken Helioptile, still being knocked out. Then they will finally take out Diggersby. Then Silver will send in Talonflame, and we use a flamethrower to push the Grass Knot back. Then we'll use a Brave Bird, which wouldn't do that much damage to Heliolisk. Then he would use a flamethrower again, knocking Heliolisk out with the little health it had left. He would say, "Okay, now it's your turn." Ash would say, "Goodbye, go." Let me pause the video. Let me go. Once they started the battle, Ash would say, "Use your new move. Use Dig." And then Ash would say, "Dang it, Dig doesn't affect them all." He would say, "Okay, when you jump out of the ground, use Takedown." And it would hit Emolga. Then he would say, "Now use Sand Tomb," gradually doing damage on Emolga. Then he would say, "Now use Draco Meteor," knocking out Emolga. Ash would he would send out Magneton. He would use a Electric Terrain, and then he would keep using Mirror Shot, doing some damage, but that wouldn't work. He would then get defeated by Draco Meteor. The last Pokemon Clement would send out would be Heliolisk. When he sent out Heliolisk, he would use Quick Attack, and then he would activate Grass Knot. The Grass Knot would be slowly overpowering a bite. Ash would say, "Go through it!" And then it would use Dragon Claw. He would say, "Great job. Now hit it with Dragon Claw." He would hit Heliolisk Dragon Claw, but to do his ability Dry Skin, it wouldn't do as much damage. Then he would use Dig, knocking Heliolisk out. Clement would then give them the voltage badge. And he would say, "You two are some very strong battlers. Hope you have good luck in the future." They would say, "Of course. Thanks." Okay, you guys, so now we go to Ash. He would be roaming the city, and he would see some people complaining about something keeps messing with them in the middle of the night. And then Ash would say, "Really?" They would say, yes. Ash would say, okay, I want to try to find the cause of it. He would go in and he would send out Greninja. Him and Greninja would be stealthily sneaking around. And then something would jump up behind Ash and scare him. He would say, so you're what's messing with all these people. You're a Gengar. Then Gengar would say, gang. Ash would say, I get it. You want to have fun, play pranks on people. But it's not nice when you actually scare people to the point where they don't even want to live in their own home. Then Gengar would say, gang. Actually, you want to join my team? We can play pranks on anyone. Gengar would say, Gengar. But then we get into a fighting position basically saying you have to battle me for. Greninja would get in a fighting position. He would say, oh, so you want to battle to catch it. Let's take this outside. They would go outside and Ash say, Greninja, you Shadow Sneak. The Gengar would look confused, like, how did this Pokemon know a ghost type move? Then Ash would say, use Water Shuriken. And Gengar would use Dark Pulse. Then he would use Shadow Ball, hitting Greninja. But before I could hit Greninja and do most damage, he'd dodge it, grazing him. He would then go in for a Shadow Punch, and then Ash would say, use Aerial Ace. And then Aerial Ace would hit it and push both of them back. Then he would go in for a Shadow Punch. He would say, a Sucker Punch. Then Ash would say, use Night Slash, blocking the Gengar. The Gengar would then stop, and then Greninja would stop. He would say, so I've earned your respect. And then the Gengar would tap on Ash's Pokeball, becoming his new 4th member. Silver would kind of be jealous, and he would go in the wilderness, looking for a Pokemon. And he would see this one Pokemon battling all these other Pokemon. And it would look just, it would just look like it's fighting his heart out. It just loves battle. And then it would just be looking at the Pokemon, and it would be in awe. The Pokemon would be an Absol. The Absol would say, Absol. And it would want to challenge Silver. Silver would say, okay. He would thought he would thought Sceptile. Then Absol would use Future Sight, doing a lot of damage. Then it would use Psycho Cut, but he would say, use Leaf Blade to cut through it. Then go to Brick Break. It would hit Absol with Bit Ray, doing a lot of damage. Absol would then go for a Sucker Punch. He would say, block it with Dragon Claw. And then Absol would be thinking that it had overhand. Then he would use Future Sight. He would say, before I can hit, use Frenzy Plant. Wrapping up the Absol. Silver would then catch the Absol. Ooh-wee. Let's go. The Gengar will always be pulling pranks on Serena and leave. Ash would tell it had to chill, or it's gonna get him in trouble. And then the Absol would always be rearing for battle, and they would be, just battling. But Absol would be a great smart partner, having a move that they would need to be able to go up against in the future gym. Psychic type moves. I should say, well, the next gym is a fairy type gym, so yeah. But the 7th gym is a psychic type gym, so I'm glad you caught Absol. Silver would say, of course. I should say, my Garchomp isn't going to be any help in the fairy type gym. It's most likely going to be a liability because of his typing. His ground type moves can do damage, but being dragon is too risky. So I'm glad I caught Gengar. Then Silver would say, yeah, you're right. I can't Mega Evolve my Sceptile because it's going to add the dragon typing. So, yeah, I'm probably going to lead with Absol. Both of them would say, okay, our strategies are kind of foolproof. Then they would hear somebody walking up behind them, and it would be their mom and dad. Their mom would say, oh, y'all two are back in the city? And Ash, I heard that you stopped that Gengar that was pulling pranks on everyone. And then Red would say, Silver, I also heard that you was stopping the Absol that was going around just hurting all the wild Pokemon. Silver would say, Dad, you can't just say that. It just wanted to battle and have competition. Then Ash would say, same with you, Mom. The Gengar just wanted to have fun. And then they would both send out their Pokemon. The Gengar and Absol would quickly become best friends, both being an outcast. Both showing out to get attention. And then Miss Ketchum would say, oh, the Gengar's so cute. With his big cheeks. And then she would be pulling on his face. Like grandmas do babies. And then Gengar would say, gang, gang. And then Red would be petting he would just be petting the Absol on his head. And the Absol would say, Absol. He would then pretty much be playing he would be ready to battle Ash. He would say, Ash, your Gengar versus my Gengar. Ash would say, not now, Dad. We're playing. And then Ash's dad would say, are you scared to battle me? Ash would say, oh, you done it now. He would say, go out, Gengar. Then Ash's dad would say, go out, Gengar. Both of them would start out with a Shadow Punch. Then both use a Shadow Ball. Then both of them use Dark Balls. Ash would say, so he probably have a Sucker Punch. Ash would go in for a Sucker Punch. Then Ash would go in for a Sucker Punch and his dad would use Psychic. Ash would say, what? And then his dad's Gengar would win. Then they would pretty much just be reminiscing on when they first started that journey. Their dad would say, neither one of you can defeat my Mega Salamence. They would say, oh, are you sure? They would say, you remember when I beat that Deantha? I'm still the champion, so that must mean something. Then they would say, oh, it doesn't mean anything to us. He would send out his Salamence. He would say, oh, so y'all want to test it. But Ash would send out his Greninja. And Silver would send out his Sceptile. He would Mega Evolve his Sceptile from the get-go. Ash would use his new form, his Ash Greninja. And Serena would say, Dad, go Ash Greninja. He would say, so you found a way to use the Battle Bond that I gave you such a long time ago in a unique way to make a Mega Evolve form of your Pokemon that we never thought could be possible. Ash would say, exactly. They would say, so are you going to battle or are you going to keep talking? He would say, use Hyper Beam. Ash would say, use Giant Water Shuriken on your back. And he would slice through the Hyper Beam. Then Silver would use a Frenzy Plant, wrapping up the Salamence. He would say, use Dragon Tail to get out. Then use Fly on Sceptile. He would say, that's not going to work. He would say, use Dragon Claw to block it. Then Ash would say, Greninja, use Air Release. But before he used Air Release, Red says, Salamence Mega Evolve. Use Zen Headbutt. And then it would knock Greninja back. Then Ash would say, use Shadow Sneak. And Silver would say, use Brick Break. And both of them would do a double damage on their dad. But their dad, Salamence, would shake it off. They would say, what? He would say, oh, I didn't become champion for no reason. Then he would say, use Zen Headbutt. And the Zen Headbutt would hit Greninja, knocking it out. Then he would say, you're not going to do my brother. Then Silver says, Frenzy Plant. He would say, oh, that's not going to work. He would say, Dragon Tail, cut it. Then use another Zen Headbutt, knocking out Sceptile. He would say, then his Salamence would waver. He would say, and then it would come out of Mega Evolve form, and it would be tired, panting. He would say, they almost got us. Salamence would say, Salamence. Being tired. Then Red would say, come back, Salamence. You had a good battle. Everybody would sleep, take the night goodbye. And Red would say, "Do y'all want to battle my second strongest Pokemon versus y'all second strongest?" They would say, "Dad, we had enough of you whooping us today. Can we please just live through one time, once, of us not getting beat?" They would say, he would say, "Oh, sure." And then both of them would say, Tomorrow, we're off to Laver City to get our 6th gym badge." And that would end this video. Tell me if you guys liked the video or not. Pretty much. Tell me what I can do better. And how, what Pokemon would y'all like them to catch next? Different things like that. Catch you guys later.